Assistance is run by post-investment bankers, and their modus operandi.
Hello, I'm Fernando Luque, editor for Morningstar in Spain, and I'm joined today by Henri Chabadel. Henri is the head of Sigma team at GROUPAMA Asset Management, and he's also responsible for all the flexible products from GROUPAMA Asset Management. So we are going to talk about flexible funds. Thank you for being here, Henri.
Thanks to you.
My first question is, do the flexible funds represent a fundamental change in the asset management industry?
We think so. 2008, 2009, 2010 have been very difficult years for investors. There have been so many crises, so many volatility, so many change in the expected returns of asset class that most investors feel a little bit lost regarding the asset allocation. And they are requesting more from the asset manager. They are requesting flexibility. They are requesting them to be opportunistic. And the flexible products are the answer to this request. So we think it is more a trend than a fad.
Yeah, okay. And what would you say are the characteristics of a flexible fund?
Well, there are some common factors very easy to assess. The most important one is the fact that these products usually target a specific performance expressed in absolute returns. Let's say 3 to 5 to 7% per annum, depending on the investment horizon. Also, what we can expect for them is the capital preservation characteristic, as well as a kind of asymmetry, which is a consequence of the flexibility of the fund manager. We also expect them to be liquid, which is the main difference between these funds and the hedge fund industry.
Yeah, well, you certainly know that flexible funds are very popular products in Europe. Don't you think that, or are you not afraid that people expect or are expecting too much from flexible funds in the current environment?
Maybe, yes, because there is a gate that should not be crossed. Flexible funds are not magical funds. These are not products that will be able to deliver the best performance of all asset class available at any point in time. These are not products which will be able to deliver positive performance whatever the market conditions. So we have to be clear as an asset management company, as a fund manager with clients, that these products are not magical ones.
But do they really work? Do the investor receive what they are expecting from the flexible funds?
Sorry?
Do they work? Do the investor receive what he is expecting from a flexible fund?
We think so. Of course, it depends from one fund to the other, because it's such a young investment universe, such a young category, that you have difficulty finding two funds like each one. So basically what we can say is that roughly on average, clients are expecting what they want. They are receiving capital preservation, they are receiving kind of asymmetry, and most of all, they are receiving flexibility in the asset allocation process. And this flexibility, this active approach of asset allocation, it's a major new thing that can be delivered through this kind of product.
Yeah. Now a very practical question: how can the investors select a flexible fund? Where should they look at? What should they take into account to select a flexible fund?
Well, it's a very tough job, because all the flexible funds are different, and the investment process that is put in place are very more complicated than traditional ones. So the due diligence process should be longer. The contact with the fund manager, with the management team, the exchange on the investment process should be longer, should be intense, in order for the investor to develop an intimate knowledge of what's happening within the fund. Also, what we can say is that it's complicated once the selection has been done to determine how much you can allocate to such a product and what kind of risk you are taking with such a product. Anyway, the best solution is to spend time with fund manager in order to understand very deeply how they are working.
Okay. And finally, what is the GROUPAMA Asset Management approach to flexible funds?
Well, there are many approaches possible, and we can see within the universe that all of them are tested by some asset management company. Our approach has been to state that we want to be invested in as many asset classes as available. So we do not want to be constrained by certain kind of asset class we are able to invest directly. So we chose to build our flexible portfolio following a multi-management approach, which means that we invest in funds, and we choose to be active, which means that we select fund managed actively by fund manager, very experienced, very seasoned, and used to deliver over time alpha, especially when market conditions are adverse. We also use a model, quantitative model, which is inspired by the CPPI approach, in order for us to monitor the risk at the portfolio level and to be able to preserve capital even in the most adverse market conditions. We have experienced such market conditions during Lehman crisis, during the Greek crisis, and basically I am very happy to have this kind of mixed approach, mixing qualitative and quantitative input.
Well, Henri, thank you very much for your opinions on asset allocation and on how to diversify a portfolio through your approach. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Run by investment bankers, and their modus operandi